What's up guys, my name is Ron from Comics and Stuff, and for today's video we are taking a look at the Raging Cajun Gambit himself from the Marvel Legends 60th Anniversary X-Men 3-pack. Now I did go over the Psylocke figure in my first part in this series. This is the second part. I will have Banshee for the third part. And Gambit seems to have a bunch of cool accessories. He does seem to be pretty cool. But we're going to have to delve a little bit more into it in order to see if there is any problems. But before we do that, let's just measure him in real quick. He stands at about 6.5 inches to the top of his hair, but to where his hair actually begins, about 6.25 inches. Now, he already comes with a gripping hand and like a pair of holding cards hand. But other than that, he got a pair of alternate hands. Another gripping hand in case you wanted to switch up the side of that staff. But this hand right here we have seen before in the Retrocard Gambit, except there's different paint applications as well as a different plastic for the special effect right here. I mean, all the cards are aces, which is a nice little touch and also different from the previous Retrocard, from the previous Gambit. Nice translucent hot pink. I do like the details on those cards. And this one, all right, there's 4 aces, guys. So Gambit always has an ace up his sleeve. I did want to show you the differences though from the Retrocard. As you guys could see, you couldn't tell what kind of card was it. Although it had the symbols, it didn't say what kind of card it was, whether it was an ace or not. So that's the first difference. The second and probably most major difference is the effect itself. This one got a hint of pink, while this one just went all out with the pink, and it's a very hot pink. And the final difference is that the card itself is not painted on this, although it does have the little details and everything. This one is actually painted. And I don't know which one I would rather prefer. I do like the effect on this, but I do like the paint on this. It's like it's almost about to charge. This one's about to charge and about to blow up in his hand if he doesn't just let it go, All right, other than those accessories, those are all reused. Everything about this Gambit is reused, guys. And this satchel is no different. As you guys could see, got a nice sculpt. The buckles are painted. I mean, it's there. Right there. This one is rather nicely painted. This one, not so much. The button is painted as well. There is texture among the straps. And if you know something about Gambit, is that he's a thief. So this is actually a good accessory, like if he was like stealing something. So I do like this. I think it's proper reuse from a different figure to this figure. And finally, we've got the bow staff. Not much detail. There is like cuts among the staff itself. So it's just a gray plastic, but it serves its purpose. Now let's go to the Gambit figure itself. As we've seen this body plenty of times already now. It's starting to get reused a bit more often. It's the Vulcan body. And the Vulcan body is perhaps their best body now. So as expected, there is pinless joints everywhere. Pinless joints on the elbows, pinless joints on the knees. The buckles are sculpted on each of the straps. There is no paint though. The paint that is there is pretty crisp. I won't be mad at that. So yeah. There is some red though on the belt. But the black is kind of poking through there. So it seemed to be a problem on the Psylocke figure. And it's a problem on this one. Also, something that I didn't mention about the Psylocke figure was that this itself is a separate piece, guys. And it seems to be a little bit more loose on this Gambit figure than it was on Psylocke. So be careful with that in case you guys are swapping heads. But let's go to the head, because this is not reuse of the Retrocard. I mean, this is its own head sculpt, and I think they nailed it. The Psylocke figure also was pretty good on the head sculpt. This one is pretty also dang good in the head sculpt. I do got one little gripe though, is that the paint application, it seems to be done well over here on this side. As you guys can see underneath the chin, there's not much, but over here on this side, it seems to be a hair up, a hair more above. There is some flesh tone poking through there. It's not quite as snug as it was on this here. And of course, the chin does show some flesh tone. So I am a bit bummed out about that. But the sculpt of the face itself, those nasal labial folds, that red iris in his eyes, I mean, I don't know if you guys could tell, but that looks rather good. And the hair, now at first, I thought it had like some shading or something, but no, it's just the sculpt and the light playing with my eyes. Yeah, I actually think this is their best Gambit head sculpt. I will make comparisons with the Retrocard Gambit later on, but I'm not mad at all with this head sculpt. I mean, it seems like they've been knocking it out of the park with this 3-pack concerning the heads. Now, I do like the body, I do like the sculpt of it and everything, but there's something different about this Gambit than the other ones. Let me just show you right now. It's this, guys. What the heck is this? I mean, it uses the same body for the, at least I think it does. But there seems to be some insane gappage in this Gambit. So much so that you can see the inner workings. Hold on a second. Let me see if I could read. Yeah, you see that, guys? You can see the inner workings in there. And yeah, the pegs seem to be rubbing up on each other. So that's how big that hole is. And spoiler alert, Banshee uses this same body and he doesn't seem to be having this problem. The animated series Cyclops uses this body, doesn't seem to be having that problem either. But for this Gambit, it's a problem. So that's a big gripe of mine. But anyway, you know, it's more apparent with the articulation. So with that being said, let's head into the articulation. Now, he comes in a ball hinge on his head, so hold up. Let's bring this back down over here. Like I said, guys, it seems to be a bit loose on this Gambit. Now, the ball hinge gives you a couple of tilt, not bad. Up makes you look up pretty good, but again, look at that. That just looks bad. Down makes you look down pretty dang good, and of course, you get your rotation. Now, shoulders gives you a T-pose, basic 360. There is butterfly joints that get you across that much and back a bit more. So that's cool. Now there is a bicep cut that works just fine, but you're gonna have to pull it away from the body a little bit because it tends to rub up in there. Double jointed pinless elbows that are a bit hindered because of that glove. So let me see if this glove is removable though. Is it? I think it is, guys. Let's check this out. No, it's not. Yeah, no, it's not. Thought it was, but it isn't. Anyway, there is a swivel and a hinge on the hands, so that works just fine. On the other hand, I did also want to point that out, guys, is a vertical hinge. So that's appreciated when he's holding his staff. And like I said, the ab crunch is a big gripe of mine, but it can move forward a bit. But look how ugly that looks. I'm disappointed with that. Back a bit, and again, just horrible. He's gonna basically look good just being neutral, which sucks because Gambit's one of his abilities is agility, so you're gonna have to play with some perspectives. There is a waist cut right there, and that works just good. Legs split like this. Go forward. Not too much. I would have liked a bit more range because, again, one of his natural abilities is agility. Back, just a tad. Thigh cut works just fine. Double jointed pinless knees get you really good range, so that's not bad. There is a boot cut. Ankles go up just a bit. I thought it would go a lot farther than that, but anyway, go back a bit more. And you do get pivot. All right, guys. I got mixed feelings about this Gambit. I love the head sculpt. and everything like that. But the paint applications, for the most part, is pretty done well, except for the head where it mattered the most. And yeah, that thing. Anyway, let's just compare him with other figures that use this body, as well as other figures in general. Alright, and for our first comparison, we're gonna measure him up with a couple of other figures that use the same Vulcan body. On the right, we got the X-Men animated series Cyclops, and on the left, we got Banshee, which is another figure that was in this box set. Now, I wanted to measure them up because, yeah, they use the same body, or so it seems, or so I believe. And maybe you guys could help me out with that. Anyway, they look pretty good together, although you could pretty much tell that it's the same body, just different heads. But Cyclops got no gap going backwards. Cyclops, not much of a gap going forward. Banshee also, not much gap going backwards. Not much gap going forward. Now Cyclops got less range than Banshee, but as you can see, Banshee doesn't have much of a gapage. Now, over here, what is going on? And now going forward, let's do all three going forward, so you guys could just see, like, what happened with this. Is this like a quality control issue or what? Yeah, guys. Yeah, that's pretty dang bad when you can see the inside of Gambit. Now, I don't know if it's different torsos. Maybe my eyes are playing tricks on me, It looks the same, but at the same time, it looks a little bit different. Also, I do think that the crotch, down there, is a bit thinner on the Gambit, like the space between his legs is less than Banshee or Cyclops. So this middle part might be entirely different. But again, I'm not quite exactly sure. If you guys got a better idea of what's happening right there, please let me know down in the comments. Anyway, let's head into our next comparison. And over here, I'm just showing you what the box set itself looks like. On the right is Psylocke, and on the left, of course, is Banshee. And it looks good, but of course, it's meant to look good since they were packed together. And our next comparison, we're gonna have him with his main love interest, at least at times. We got Rogue. On the right, we got the Rogue from the Pyro and Rogue 2-pack. And over here, on the left, we got that old school Toy Biz Rogue that looks horrible and hasn't aged well at all. None of these Rogues look good with him. I do got a Retrocard Rogue that I haven't opened yet, and an Age of Apocalypse Rogue that does not fit him at all. So, let's head into our final comparison to see how that looks. And our last comparison is going to be with himself. We got the Retrocard Gambit right there on the right, and the Toy Biz Old School Gambit right there on the left. And I do like this trench coat, guys. I did keep it in pretty good condition. So, I like how that one still looks. But the main reason for this comparison is going to be to swap out heads and to kind of compare them. I mean, check out the differences. Yeah, there is so much texture, nice shading and everything. So much more going on in this face than there was on this face. Let's just swap them out so you guys could get a good sense on how that looks. Quick disclaimer, quick warning, guys, is that this is more of a blue color. Of course, this is totally black. So if you guys do want to change it and are planning to make this head the main head on this Gambit, because let's face it, everybody loves this kind of costume Gambit. I mean, it looks good, but you might want to paint that neck. Yeah, that looks actually really good, guys. This head on this body, though, not as much. It kind of sits a little low on the neck for my taste. Yeah, a little too low. While this one, I think, has just the right distance from the neck. It looks pretty dang good. Let me know what you guys think about it, though, down in the comments. So in conclusion, I do enjoy this Gambit. I mean, the head sculpt is perhaps their best Gambit head sculpt. It's on the Vulcan body, which is also one of their better bodies. and it's got a good set of accessories. With that being said, it does have its problems, particularly that gap in the torso. I mean, that's horrendous. The paint applications on the head are also a bit iffy, but that could be a quality control issue. You might not have the same problem. If you guys are interested in it, I will leave a link down in the descriptions. If you guys enjoyed the video, hit the like, comment, and consider subscribing because it really does help out this channel. My name is Ron from Comics and Stuff, and I'll check you guys on the next episode. Peace.